What's good, everybody? Like I said with my last video, building UFC Spain, go watch it if you haven't. The UFC is now under Paramount and no longer needing to rely on them bitch-ass American pay-per-views. The whole world, man, including Japan, has now opened up for more of these banger UFC events internationally, abroad. You notice when these events get to like other places like France, when they go to the UK, even if it's just a fight night and it's a shitty-ass card, the fans are hyped, man. We got good culture over just anywhere outside of the US for sports. Like, you watch the Japanese fans, they go crazy. The Spanish fans, when they're watching football, they go crazy. Like, there's some good shit going on internationally, I promise. Today we're going to be building UFC Japan. Japan as a country has always been really into fighting. They have Ryzen right now. They host a bunch of the One Championship fights. I believe they hosted some of the UFC fights back in the day. Back in like they had Pride back in the day. Rampage Jackson was fighting there. Man, like it's a country that would have no issue hosting the UFC. Their fans would love it. It would be fire. They can get there this year, bro. Let's get right into it. Starting off, date and location. Let's make this in the Saitama Super Arena, October of this year. So October is good. This is just based on the champion, which we're going to get to in the end. I think he'll be ready to fight around this time of the year. And whoever the champion is in this division, he'll be fighting a Japanese prospect. If you guys know ball, if you guys know the UFC, you guys already know who I'm talking about. But I'm just going to keep it a little secret for the sake of the video, right? Let's make it in the Saitama Super Arena. It's currently like the most sports-ready arena in the whole country of Japan. It's the one that's able to host the most events. And just look at these pictures, man. This is perfect. Like, the seats are high up, but everyone has a good view. There's a good amount of seats to sell. There's a good space for like 2-3 octagons can fit down here perfectly fine, right? I think this is a good place to put it. They'd have no issue accepting the UFC for this venue. Now, let's get on to some of the prelims. Like my video on UFC Spain, I'm going to try to get as many Japanese fighters as I can on this card, right? Regardless of how realistic it is, I'm going to try to get them on this card. And the reason I preface this with realism is because, yes, Asakura, the big bro Asakura versus Aaron Pico. So we all know, Kai's backstory. Kai Asakura, if you guys don't know, in the UFC. He had an older brother who actually got him into fighting. The first time he actually had any sort of experience fighting was when his brother would start swinging at him, just like with intention to kill over some hard-ass concrete. And Kai Sakura was like, yo, I'm looking good at this. He was dodging that shit. He wasn't getting hit. So his brother, he's built a reputation for himself outside of MMA in general. He's boxed Floyd Mayweather. He's done a bunch of like events in Japan, internationally. He's a big star over there. So getting him, if you can't justify putting him on the main card, I understand. Put him on the prelims against Aaron Pico, who's a champion. He was the ex-champion of Bellator, I believe. He's good. He was doing great against Lerone Murphy until he got fucking colded by the spinning elbow. But yeah, bring him back for this fight. I think by this point, Aaron Pico, he's gonna have a good point. He's gonna be at a good point to fight. I picked Aaron Pico specifically like for his spot in the division. He's not ranked yet. He's on a loss. And Asakura, he is coming off of a loss. I don't even know what promotion he's fighting in, but he's coming off of a loss from there. Regardless, man, you're going to Japan. It's a bit gimmicky in that way, so just bring him in. It doesn't matter. Like, who fucking cares if he's on a loss? His brother's in the UFC, and his brother's fucking buns too, but who cares? Like, we're going to get to him in a second, all right? Next, Rei Tsuruya versus Morales. So, Rei Tsuruya, his last fight, I think it was on the Pereira versus Ankalaev card. I watched that shit from Singapore. He fought Joshua Van, who's currently the champ, as we know, of the flyweight division. And he was low-key doing good, man. I picked him to win that fight. I didn't know who Joshua Van was at the time. Like, my fault. Joshua Van, the GOAT. But I picked him to win at the time. He has a 10-2 record, and his last loss was to Joshua Van, which was pretty competitive. He has good wrestling. Low-key got out-wrestled by Van in that fight, but whatever. He has good wrestling. That's his background. And yeah, man, like, the winner of this fight gets to get a shot into the lower top 15 rankings. I put him against Morales, who's on a 2-fight win streak. So this is like I'm not feeding him some jobber. We're actually gonna make this competitive, Tsuruya versus Morales. Put this on the prelims of UFC Japan, just because he's Japanese, to be completely fair. And let's get on with it. Next, Kai Asakura versus Mohamed Mokaev. So, you guys already know. Kai Asakura, big star, fire edits. We all saw the edits. Banger edits. There's a one edit I have in particular in my mind that I fucking love of Kai Asakura. I'm a casual man. What can I say? Get this guy one more fight in the UFC, right? He's lost his last two. His first one was like, all right, you know, kind of justifiable. His second loss to Tim Elliott, bro. Guillotined. You got guillotined by Tim Elliott, bro. This guy, he's unk. He's unk in the division. He looks like a homeless guy. I don't know. So I think Kai Sakura is someone who doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. We've seen that. And Mohamed Mokaev, on the opposite end of the spectrum, is someone who deserves to be in the UFC. And we have seen that over and over again. He's undefeated, and he's not in the UFC. So I think, like, let's get a swap going. This is kind of like a swap. Winner of this fight gets to either stay, in the case of Asakura, or gets to get into the UFC, in the case of Mohamed Mokaev. This is a banger fight. I think Mokaev would try to take it to the ground. So this is like one last chance to see if Asakura can adapt as a fighter and try to keep Mokaev off of his fucking crotch. And yeah, let's see it. Let's see this fight. Kai Asakura is a big star. You could honestly justify putting this on the main card. This would be undefeated record versus big star in Japan. But yeah, man, I make this fight. Let's see how it goes. Let's move on to the main card. And main card, I have to preface, same thing with Spain, with the UFC Spain card video. I put a lot of Moroccans on the card because these are guys that are nearby Spain. And they're not like, you know, they're not just Spanish because they're not just Spanish people living in Spain, guys. I know, crazy. We got immigrants and shit. So having Moroccans on the card is great to attract a lot of the Moroccan population. And I'd say the same with these next two fighters, even if they're not from the Asian region, right? Or I have two fighters on this card. They're not the next two, but the first one, Halil versus Azamat Murzakanov. So Halil is not, he's a fucking black guy from the US, right? Like, he's not Thai, even though he trains in Thailand. He's not, his mom is in Cambodian or some shit like that. There's nothing about this man that's Asian, except maybe his favorite food and his wife. I don't know who he's dating, to be honest, but he is like a guy that does have this Muay Thai style. And I think in Asia, a lot of the people that go watch the fights, more so than in the West, where the US and Europe, they watch fights for styles more than stars. So I mean, everyone loves watching their stars, don't get me wrong. Like, everyone has like their favorite boxer. I'm sure Japanese guys go watch boxing to watch their favorite boxer or whatever. But you have, like, I feel like a deeper appreciation of styles and like fighting matchups. Like, you're telling me in Thailand, they fight every weekend. You're telling me the guys that are going to see there, they know someone on the card and they're cheering for them every fight? No, man. You're going to those cards because you want to see some fights. I think Halil kind of embodies that. And a lot of guys, they've seen his style, they've seen his highlights. They could, like, if you're a Japanese casual, I don't even know what that would look like, you could show up to watch this fight happen. And rankings-wise, this is good. I believe Azamat is one ranking below Halil. And yeah, we can get this fight going. Halil deserves to fight someone around there. He's definitely done fighting up. I don't think he should fight up anymore. And Azamat, he's getting very close to a title shot. So I think this would probably be the win that would get him over the edge if he does take this fight. Next, also Halil would love to fight in Japan, I'm sure. I'm just 100% sure of it. Next, Kyoji Horiguchi, the GOAT, the fucking GOAT, versus Brandon Moreno. As you guys know, this last weekend, Kyoji Horiguchi fucking slimed out whoever he was fighting. Who was he fighting on the card? I don't even remember. He was fighting... Oh yeah, he was fighting Amir Albazi, who was a victim of Moreno as well. Oh, that was Moreno's last victim. Banger fight. Kyoji's really fucking good. I did not expect him to be this good. I picked Tagir when he first came back to the UFC. But man, was I wrong. This guy's a fucking legend. He's like 36 or whatever, and he's still whooping ass. Moreno, career-wise, he looks like he's going on a downfall. I don't know if he actually is. I have a lot of faith in Brandon Moreno. So like put these guys up against each other. You know, Moreno's kind of taking on the Brandon Royval kind of role. You know, he's definitely not getting a title shot anytime soon. And Kyoji, he's on the up and up. So let's see. Let's get it going. Let's see if Kyoji really is that good, if he can maintain this streak, and if he can beat Moreno. I'm sure Kyoji is a huge star in Japan. So put this on the Japan card, and then the winner of this fight, if it's Kyoji, probably gets a title shot. If it's Moreno, he's like one away from a title shot, one or two away. Next, for the co-main event, or main event, however you guys want. Like, this depends on how this goes. If this fight gets booked and Pereira is hasn't fought either of these guys for a trilogy, and he's still in the light heavyweight division, then put this as a co-main, because this will be like a number one contenders fight, right? If Pereira vacates and goes up to heavyweight, which I think he will, this will probably be for the vacant light heavyweight belt, and this could take the main event. Even if, like, you guys will see in a second why I think it could take the main event, but assuming the fact that this won't be for a belt, Yuri versus Ankalaev, banger fucking fight. Czech samurai versus inbred guy from Russia, like fire. Rankings wise, this makes sense. They're the number 1 and number 2 ranked contenders. And Yuri is like, he has the Japanese, what is it, Bushido, the samurai code, the Bushido in his spirit, man. He has that shit in his soul. He's like, I don't think there's any Japanese fighter more Japanese than Yuri. And he's not even from Japan. That's motherfucker's from the Czech Republic. So yeah, make Yuri versus Ankalaev. This would be for either the vacant light heavyweight belt, which I think it should be for, or number 1 contender shot. Could also be for an interim, depending on what's going on. Maybe Pereira gets injured, then we can justify an interim shot. But this is a banger fight. Man, if I was Japanese, I'd go watch this fucking crazy Czech, huge fucking Czech guy, like, represent my nation. That would be fire. So yeah, make that fight, and let's get it on with the main event. What I think will be the main event, Joshua Van versus Taira. So there's a couple things that need to go right for this to be the main event. Taira has to either wait or just win the next fight if he's getting one, because his next fight probably won't be for the belt, I think, until around this time of the year. And Joshua Van has to not lose his title, right? I mean, if Pantoja comes back, beats Van, then he probably fights Taira over in Japan in the same spot. Like, there's probably nothing that changes. The only thing, you just imagine this graphic, but it's Pantoja here. So basically, the only thing that needs to go right is that Taira needs to not lose, and he'll get a spot, man. He'll get a shot at the title, whether it be against Van, which is a pretty good matchup, whether it be against Pantoja, which is also a good matchup. I'd love to see this. Taira is definitely the best prospect Japan has in the UFC right now. Kyoji Horiguchi, hold on, he's kind of getting up there, right? But yeah, let's make this fight. Stylistically, it's rough, huh? Like, Taira has better grappling, Joshua Van has better striking, but the difference between their grappling and their striking, I feel like Taira's grappling is better than Joshua Van's striking is better than Taira. You know what I mean? Like, Joshua Van has better striking, but not by as much of a difference as Taira has better grappling. I don't know who I'd give this fight to, honestly. We'd have to see it if this actually gets made. If it does, the UFC, they're in my walls, they're watching my videos. But we need to see this fight, man. This is the only chance we have of, like, justifying a Japan card. If we want to have some actual Japanese fighters on there, which I'm sure the UFC would love to do that. So yeah, let's make this fight. October, Saitama Arena. Let's get it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm a bit sick. I don't know if you guys could tell by my voice. I'm a bit fucking cooked over here making these videos for y'all. Let me know what you guys think of UFC Japan. Should the UFC go here? Should the UFC go to Spain? What other countries should we see the UFC go to in this year? And do you guys think they're actually going to do any of that? Like with the new Paramount deal? Or they're just going to... Or are we just going back to the Apex for the 10th time? Right? Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go apply some deodorant. Ciao.